Hi. I think a squid just died below me. I'm Magicov, and we are nearly at day 80 on my Minecraft hardcore world. In the previous episode, we made this amazing starter house here, but it left us pretty poor in terms of other resources, so today we need to fix that. In the previous episode, we captured 2 infected villagers and cured them, and today we're going to be making use of them. If you watched that episode, if you haven't, please go back and watch it before you carry on with this one. Thank you. I also said in the previous episode that this mountain over here would be a high point of interest, no pun intended. So what I want to do is up on that mountain up there, I would like to build ourselves a castle that contains a villager breeder and trading hall inside of it. Because villager trading is pretty OP in the early game, it's also a good source of XP, which we desperately need. Right here, we're gonna build ourselves a castle, and in the surrounding area where all the grass and stuff is, we're gonna have farmland just to give us some more resources to trade with the villagers, like these pumpkins, for example. I didn't even know these were here. But in order to get started with that, we need a lot of materials, so it's that time again. I need to go on a resource gathering mission. So hopefully we have a lot of materials on us already, but I think we need to get some bundles. I think that's going to be the only way early game that we're going to be able to transfer all those items up there in a quick and easy way. And I don't know how to get bundles. I need to do some research right now. So in order to craft a bundle, apparently you need leather and string. I have 2 string. And I don't think I have that much. Okay, I have quite a bit of leather. Let's see if this is true. It is. I have no idea how these things work. I've never used them before. I think if I just click the bundle, it fills it up. Okay. So this will help us store a couple of miscellaneous items, I think. So like with the last episode, I'm going to set up a couple temporary chests. I'm going to set them up down here. And this way we can easily keep track of what resources are for the build up there. I'm going to test out a new mod that I have called Flashback. This mod lets me do replays like replay mod, but it's a lot easier to use from what I've heard. I've never used it before, but so this will be the first time I've tried it. This will be a little test of me gathering some resources. Let's see how it works. I created a small little animal pen here. It literally is just so I can have a somewhat steady source of food, but oh my god, stop pushing me, you jerks. It's so nice having like a starter base that I can just come back to. I spent so long, literally 50 days on this world without a starter home, so having one now, it's nice. It's nice having a completed place I can just sleep in. We need 8 stacks of spruce stairs, which I just crafted. Thank god I actually have some stuff left over. There were many other resources that I needed to gather for this, like diorite. Stripped spruce logs. But as I was gathering resources, these guys were encroaching on my land, so I knew I had to deal with them. I needed regular cobblestone as well. And a big resource I needed was calcite. I knew there was a calcite mountain just a few hundred blocks away from my place, so I actually went and mined that. I am so glad you can insta-mine this block. It is so satisfying. I managed to make an efficiency 4 axe, which would help speed up the process of chopping down logs. Another big thing I needed was oak leaves. I needed a couple stacks of those. And once again, which will probably be a common occurrence for most of my builds, I needed a crap ton of tuff blocks. Tuff is just such a nice block to build with. I needed some diorite walls and andesite walls, so I had to actually go back into the mines to get a few more stacks of those blocks. Same with tuff, I had to go back down here. But while digging for the tuff, I saw a tuff brick. And when I dug in a little deeper, I realized I had found a trial chamber. I have never seen one of those before, and I did not go into it because I don't know how they work and I'm scared. Especially when this guy started shooting things at me constantly, like, can you not? Man, I found a trial chamber. I was just mining tuff. I was looking for tough bricks, funnily enough, and I found them. I found tough bricks, but these aren't the bricks I'm looking for. I need to go about my business. I needed a lot of gravel and sand because one of the major components of this build was the light gray concrete, But I realized as I was digging this gravel that I was getting a little too much flint from it. Turns out my shovel actually had Fortune 2 on it. So I actually ended up just making a brand new diamond shovel. Scratch that, I actually got this gravel for coarse dirt because I wanted to build a pathway up from my house to this castle that I'm going to be building. I made a small field of potatoes in order to get more because this build also required potatoes, oddly enough. It's a villager breeder, so like, another block I needed was polished basalt pillars. Luckily I live near a basalt delta, so this wasn't too hard. I also needed lots of acacia logs because the log texture is actually a very good texture to use with other gray blocks. Even with all these close materials, there was one material I needed that was quite far away. Pale oak logs. In the previous episode, I managed to get 32 of them, but I needed 64 at least. And the last wandering trader didn't give me any saplings. However, while I was in my house, I heard a wandering trader on my roof and checked it out. And lo and behold, he had the pale oak saplings that I needed. I didn't have the emeralds for it, so I ended up going up into my mountain range. And while I was up here, I discovered an amazing clearing. I am gonna have to build something up here. Maybe like an icy fortress or something like that. It is just way too nice. But the reason I actually came up here is for emeralds, because they can spawn in the mountains, and I managed to find emeralds underneath that vein. Once I had all the emeralds I needed, I went back praying he hadn't despawned, and I managed to get 4 pale oak saplings. I immediately began chopping down the tree that I had grown up, and using my fortune pickaxe, I mined the leaves to make sure I had enough saplings to grow multiple trees after this one. That wandering trader probably saved me about 3 or 4 hours of time. Another big one was deep slate. Not just regular deep slate, but cobbled deep slate, because I needed lots of different variants of deep slate for the roof of the castle and for other parts of the build, like shading. But while mining, I began to hear a crap ton of zombies, way more than I should have heard. And as I suspected, I found a zombie spawner. Not really all that useful to me, but it's cool that I found it. I found a Sharpness 4 book in here. And now, finally, we're moving on to the last big one. Remember I mentioned light gray concrete powder? In order to make concrete powder, you need gravel and sand. On top of that, I also began collecting some flowers because they would give me some light gray dye, which would save me a ton of time getting like ink sacs and everything in order to craft it myself. I didn't mention it in the previous video, but that egg that I threw that got me like 3 or 4 chickens from one egg. That's like a 1 in 250. What on earth? You guys are very odd. You're individuals that are strange. Okay, I missed. Maybe I'm the weird one. I think that's everything though. If my calculations are correct. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 stacks of that. I believe that's everything. It's not nowhere near as many materials as the previous build, which is weird because I'm gonna be building a castle and not a house, and castles are typically bigger than houses. But now I gotta move all this crap up the hill. So I'm gonna. 1 bed fills the bundle. Interesting. I can collect like the smaller amounts of stuff, although I think that's it. Cool. Okay, well that helps a little bit. So I'm gonna start with the coarse dirt and this stuff, I guess. Perhaps I should have gone to kill the Ender Dragon today, so I could have just flown up here, but I'm gonna put some chests here. How do you, like... Ah. And now begins the process. The long process of going back and forth between the house and those chests.
A few moments later.
Oh my god. You know, it was annoying, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. It didn't actually take all that long. Thankfully, there was only 3 double chests this time instead of the 4 like the last one, but this area here annoys me. I need to make the path up here. Maybe I should make it first. I'll have a path leading from down there up this hill, coming up to the castle, which will be up here. So we have everything we need up here. And so now we are finally ready to begin building this castle. But before we actually get to the time lapse of the castle, I knew running up and down this hill would get really annoying really quickly. So I actually spent about 40 minutes building a road up the hill using the coarse dirt I collected earlier. If you're wondering where the time lapse for that is, I'm wondering too. I don't know what happened to it. And now we're ready for the time lapse, so here we go. The goal of this build was to have a gradient from darker blocks to lighter blocks, with a little bit of shading here and there. The purpose of this build, as I mentioned earlier, is villager trading. So the shape and structure of this build was created with those in mind. And I have to say, this build turned out really, really good. And it is done. Look at that thing up there. That thing looks awesome. You guys are gonna have such a nice home. So this castle took many days to build. You guys obviously saw the process. We are now on day 109. So we've survived 100 days in this world already. And we're only just getting started. I've never been so hyped about a world. We have this pathway up here, and there's just a few more things I need to add to this castle for it to be complete, but I will give you guys a quick tour. This is not all we're going to be building today, but this is the main castle. Basically a distraction for a villager trading hall. Villagers will be in these little parts here. There'll be some villagers in these two here, in those two there, and these ones over here. I will explain how this thing works. In this chamber right here, we need to have a zombie. Above it, we're gonna have an infinite villager breeder. I need to put a composter there and create all the potatoes, and we're gonna bring our two villagers from down there up here. The villagers will make a child. The child will try and get to the beds. They can't. The adults can't get there because of this trapdoor setup. The child will fall down here and become infected by the zombie that's here. This will continuously happen, so hopefully anytime I come around here, there'll be at least one zombie villager in here that can be cured. And then once they're cured, I flip these, and the villager can come down into here. But we gotta put this here. This is how this works, because one of the villagers needs to be a farmer. Underneath this composter, this is a waterlogged slab, so there is a water source here. And I have brought up all of my bone blocks. We need to give the farmer, I think, 8 stacks of potatoes, and we need to plant all the potatoes in my inventory on the ground here. Because in order for the villagers to breed, I think the farmer has to give the other guy food. So we are just getting started with this. That's why the time lapse of the castle was so short in comparison to the main video itself. This is only the surface level of what we're doing. Still need to actually get the villagers and the zombie up here, and we actually also have to trade with said villagers and get ourselves stacked with materials. I really like this build. I think this build came out insanely well. So nicely cemented with the hills in the background, but also on its own hill. And this whole area here is like naturally fortified. I think we're gonna have a second gate here. So now comes something that is gonna be quite challenging. We gotta get those villagers up here. And also on top of that, we need to get a zombie up here. Specifically a zombie that's either holding an item or that we've named. And so what we're actually gonna do, I'm just gonna use this leftover stone, and I'm gonna use minecarts. I think it's gonna be the easiest way. I think I have enough iron to make a railway system. Most of it's going to have to be powered rails, I think, so I'm just going to turn all of this into powered rails, and then I'm going to turn what I have left into regular rails. I love this starter home. It's so beautiful. Oh my god. And we're just going to make ourselves a little railway. I'm like 10 rails short. Are you kidding me? Alright, so let's test this thing. Can this get something all the way up to the top? It looks like it's gonna be fine. Perfect. Woohoo! So how do we get the villagers up, you might ask? How do we get the villagers in the minecart? Well, I believe if I know this game, if I do this and then that, they should get automatically put into the minecart. Yeah, okay. So that's one guy. We're gonna follow him up. This is actually gonna be quite annoying. I should have got 2 minecarts. No! Here, have all of these. And let's get out. I should pick him up. There he goes. And I'm following. So we got our 2 villagers up here successfully. That is great. Okay, we got the name tag ready. you should definitely do what that name tag says. In the meantime, though, what we can do is go get more bone blocks from the nether. What I'm gonna do, actually, over here, I remember I left my brewing stand out here. I'm gonna collect this and the weakness potions within it so that we can have them. No way! Okay. It's gonna be nighttime, so what I'm thinking is we find a zombie. We find a zombie down here. We gotta find a zombie, guys. Any zombie around? Any zombies in the chat? There's a zombie! Hello, zombie. Come up here, zombie. You pick up an item? Oh! You can! I don't need to use my subscribe name tag. Well, what am I gonna use it on then? Well, now we gotta get our castle infested by zombies. I'm gonna try and roll it down to him. That didn't work. There we go, that worked. Okay, so now, ow, dude, not cool. You're gonna cooperate with me, right? You're not gonna be an issue for me, right? You know what? I'll name him anyway. And the villager breeder should be up and running. Well, all the hard parts are done. Now it's just building. So now we can turn the breeder on. Technically, we're done. So let's turn it on. And well, they shouldn't take long. I don't think they should take long to get busy. Now we just gotta get rid of this minecart rail. That's not gonna be fun. Alright, let's see if anything has worked yet. Nobody in here yet. Have they made a child? I think he still needs to collect a lot more of his potatoes before he can. Right, so now what I'm thinking is, I don't have a plan for this next part of the build, the actual town. So we're gonna build that together. So now let's just put all these materials in here. And we're gonna go get some materials. I'm thinking pale oak, lots of tough. Mainly this. That castle looks so cool from here. Man, I love that peak. That's... I think we also need more spruce wood, so I'm gonna chop down what remains of this. I've been in here recently. And there is another material I want to collect a somewhat decent amount of. Which is stone bricks that are cracked. The cracked stone bricks. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, so it's fine. It's time to finally make use of this room, and we're just gonna, you know, smelt up some stone brick. I mean, right. So while that's cooking, I'm gonna go get some tuff. Ooh, hi. What a pleasant surprise. 16 from 6. That's. I think that's really good, right? Hopefully 5 stacks is enough. It's getting kind of annoying to mine this. There's a trial chamber there, which kind of scares me. I forgot this. I forgot to get the stone bricks. I left them down there. Now I gotta go back down there. But I think now we are finally ready to begin building this monstrosity of a town up here. I say monstrosity because I have no plan. This isn't anything I did in schematic, like I said. So we're gonna be building it together. Go through my building process. Right, so let's just get like a stack of everything that we have. See what we can do with it. You can't make cracked stone brick stairs? Huh! I heard it! I heard it! I heard it! Hold on. That was the sound of a villager being infected. You know what? Let's be sneaky. Where is he? There he is. Hell yeah! So he's up there. And then flicked up. So now he's in there. Hey, change of plan. We're not gonna build just yet. I know this zombie cannot reach him now. So this guy will be cured. So we'll have our first villager, and while we're building, we can wait for him to grow up. Sorry for that minor distraction. So let's actually build now. Right, so I will have to come through here and flatten all this area out, but I think right away, this spot here looks like it could have a house on it. Expand it out just a little bit with the regular dirt. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty big. 4x7? 4x7. And I'm gonna work from darker colors up to brighter ones, so I think I'm gonna start off with, how well do these 2 blocks go well? Ooh. Yes, perfect. What about with tough? You know what, I like that too. It can work. So that's gonna be our base. So let's do something like this. Yeah, I like it. The sun's going down. That looks pretty good, I think. You can orient the deep slate to get different textures. This is cobbled, this is right side up deep slate, and this is sideways deep slate. Over here, I'm going to wrap it around into some stone. Right around here, we'll have another piece of stone brick. That, and that. So I think we can bring this up like this and connect it like that. Just throw in a bit more stone brick. I'm thinking it's missing a block between this tuff and the andesite. He was cured and I heard it! And there's another one too! And he's holding an item! So that guy won't despawn. Oh. So he can just leave that. You shall become my first villager, sir. No. You have no choice. Are you kidding me? He swam against it? And he jumped up the... This guy is a smart one. Or maybe I'm just a dumb one. Ha! Oh, the shame. He can't get out now. So yeah, this guy will grow up and become my first villager. My first trading villager. Okay. And then what if this goes into the andesite? That looks better to me. I mean, it's a box. You can't deny it's a box. Alright, let's actually add some detail to this little thing. Surround this with coarse dirt. I'm gonna put the entrance right here. Remind me never to do this again. Remember to always plan my builds ahead of time. I think the floor can just be regular spruce wood. I mean, obviously, these are farmhouses. They're not gonna be insane. We're gonna add a oak trap door for the window. We're gonna put the spruce trap door above it as like a window shutter, and on the sides, I might actually get rid of this one. I think we need a front window too. I'm gonna turn this log on its side. There we go. I kind of like the look of the side ones actually. It matches much better with the deep slate. Now the roof is gonna be interesting. So I want I wanted polished tuff and stone brick. I wanted the cracked stone brick for the roof, but you can't make stairs out of that, so that's annoying. Let's do stone brick, polished tuff. Actually, we should probably blend. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice blending block. We'll do something similar. Bring up the walls just a bit more. This, and then we can bring it back to stone brick. One more thing here. It's a cool design, I think. Perhaps a bit too gradientual. That's not a word. I invented it today, though. Then from the roof here, I'm just gonna stick out a simple chimney, I think, like that. Is that too tall? Let's bring it down a block. That's better. Around the house, I'm just gonna have a little bit of coarse dirt sticking out like this. And we're gonna have some fence gates going like this. And then I'm gonna throw in some oak leaves in this corner just for some decoration. And then I'm going to build over here a small, I guess, overhang thing. I don't really know. I'm just building what the first thing that comes to my mind right now. That's pretty cool. Maybe what I could do actually is extend it out one more like this and have the fences come down and meet the other side. That's pretty good. I like that. It's simple. It's a very simple house. From then on, I just made 2 more simple houses just to fill in this land a bit. It doesn't have to be like a town or anything. This guy grew up. He grew up. He's an adult. Yeah, this is a little more sketch than I had hoped. Oh god. Bro. Alright, so now I can leave these 2 guys here. So I'll have 3 villagers. Ow. Ow, man, they got some range. Hi, sir. So you are my friend now. And as my friend, you will go into this hole for eternity. And you... Why do you jump up to the one place where I don't think you can jump up to? Don't look at me like that after you just committed this act, Mr. Sir. Get down from there. Now, get down from there right this instant. So you can go in here, right? No, you don't want to jump on that. No, you don't. You definitely don't want. You're gonna come in here, okay? Just stay put while I trap you. There we go. You can go in the one next to him. How does that sound? Hmm? How does that sound? Haha. That's a design I came up with myself, by the way. That's not like a... This isn't a tutorial build or anything. Right, so now that we're done these houses, it's time to actually start making some farms. So I need to get lots of dirt. Since my shovel wouldn't last very long, I made an effort to actually make a brand new one. And by that, I actually mean combining a whole bunch of mesh shovels together to create a somewhat decent one. Sure, I had to go back to Nether to get enough levels to do it, but we don't talk about that part. And with that, I began tearing up a mountain. I became an idiot here. I tried to expand this honey farm, and I let like half of the bees out. At this point, probably doesn't really matter, but I panicked. You can see I'm a panicking man. But finally, I began placing all the dirt down. Of course, the main purpose of this farm was for the villagers themselves, so I actually grew some useful crops here. I had found melons in the jungle, pumpkins were nearby on this very hill in fact. I had collected carrots and potatoes from other villages, and of course I had wheat. Well, it's certainly not perfect. There's still lots that can be done, especially with that hill. I don't really know how to blend the hill with the farm. But I think that looks very cool. I need to put some custom trees here still. I'm gonna do that later. But right now I need to get some tools. Look at this hoe. This was a new diamond hoe, and it has almost been destroyed by this whole area here, just by me creating this land. It's nice. I do like how it looks. It needs more work around like the edges and stuff. Like it has potential. I like this road because like I can jump down most of it without taking never mind. Bro. Why are these Endermen always in my damn house? And why do they never drop pearls? And why do they always have grass blocks? I should bring a sugarcane farm up there too, now that I think about it. And for now, we'll leave it like that. Let's make use of these villagers. So, this guy here. They can't escape, so what I can do is I can put this in front of them. Just like that, and I should be able to just keep doing that. I think for now, we're gonna go for unbreaking. Silk touch. Oh my god. There we go. Hello. And golden carrots. So this guy has all the trades we need in one villager. He has pumpkin as well. And melons. Oh my goodness. Woo! Yes. Mine. Oh. Cool, we just saw it work. And just to finish up the land a little bit more, I built some custom spruce trees. I think that tree there looks a lot better. And I added a couple more trees. And so for the next little bit, I focused on my villagers. And here are some of the best moments from this process. Holy fuck. Shit. I just passed down protection to... Ah! I'm glad I did. Too many villagers, that'd be funny. Woo! Okay. So this will be quite a monumental moment. I'm thinking of making new armor, just cause I don't want to have the mending repair it for the next 12 years. And so we're going to combine these books very carefully. Protection, Unbreaking costs 3. That costs 4. That costs 3. This should cost just 2, right? Unbreaking, Mending. Unbreaking, Mending. Let's combine the Feather Falling and the Protection on one. Doesn't matter which. Let's put the Protection on the book. Let's put the Protection on the book. Alright, so we got all these books here. Nah, I'm out of levels completely. Where on earth did these guys spawn? Ah, down there. Okay, that's 12 levels right there. That's the thing with villager trading. You get levels from it. I'm gonna put this on first. That's 16 levels. Okay, I should have realized. Let's put this on. Feather falling boots. And then put this on my helmet. Just like that, we have fully maxed out armor pretty much. Right, so with our villagers, we just made it so I can do this and be completely fine. I went from being scared of practically every encounter to me finally being ready to use the last of these. Put this on our armor like that and look amazing. It'll look better once it's netherite, but for now, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna keep on playing with the villagers. That sounds wrong. I'm gonna keep on using the villagers to get my tools better. We're on day 137 and we're just getting started. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.